Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob, and today we are going to be continuing the file narration series with the characters' voice lines. And this will be the first episode of the third round of these file narrations. And by that I mean we went already twice through all of these categories. If obviously you are someone who is bumping into this video for the first time, we already went through all of these categories twice. One character per major category of the units in Arknights. Same rarity per round, and the only other condition was that they had to be max, whatever max rank was required, and maximum trust, which in most cases is going to be 200%. But now we are in round 3, and we are going to be going through, once again, through each category once, aka one character per category of the same rarity, and this time it's going to be 4 stars. And for people who are coming from the Phantom video, I did already open at the end of that video this section up just to see who is going to be next. While I did only have Vigna right here ready, Scavenger was kind of there, and it kind of made me think when I was looking at this, like, yes, I really utilized Vigna a shit ton, but Scavenger, one of my OG units, like, I had her for the longest time on E1, just sitting there, and I used her quite a lot. She is actually the unit that was replaced later by Texas, because she basically does a thing that Texas does, which is block 2 units. That's why I replaced her with Texas later on, because there's more utility to Texas as skill. But yeah, pretty decent unit. So let's first, before I go into the usual ramble about the unit and other things, I don't know how, but I somehow completely, and I swear at this point I have seen every character's E2 art. I have somehow, either I have seen it, but I have forgotten it, which is probably the case, or I have just not seen it. When I E2'd this character like 2 days ago, I suddenly not remember at the art and was like, I do not remember this. I do not ever remember seeing this art. Why do I not remember seeing this art? Did I just not see it anywhere? Or did I just forget that this exists? But yeah, had a bit of a brain melt at that point. But anyway, enough of that. As a unit, what can I say, considering I have not used her in much else for probably a good 2 years now at this point. She's a pretty decent both DPS unit as a Vanguard and a pretty decent battery for DP early on in the game. Oh, which brings me to another one. If you are, whoever is watching right now is a new player to Arknights, I know 5 stars and especially 6 stars are very shiny and they look very amazing, but I wanna emphasize something. If you are new to the game, like literally started maybe right now, a month ago, 2 months ago, build your 4 and 3 stars, please, for the love of God. You will thank yourself later down the line. Just do it. They are super important, super, what's the word I'm looking for, super useful as time progresses, especially now that we have integrated strategies, a permanent randomized mode, and having good 4 stars at the beginning, 3 and 4 stars, is pretty good. Saves you a lot of resources, and they are very useful for a lot of maps, considering there is a shit ton of guides out there where you just use literally low stars to finish them, and they are very difficult maps. But yeah, please build your 4 stars. is all I can say. They will carry you for a long time. I mean, for fuck's sake, I have been using Vigna since I got her, all the way up to now, and she's a 4-star. But yeah, going back to Scavenger as a unit, what can I say? Good battery, good DPS, can block 2 units at once, charges are pretty decently quick considering her second skill is pretty much her bread and butter here, with a attack buff of 40%, plus it automatically gains you 11 DP. Cool. And she gets it very quickly back. Plus, if you deploy her where no allies are around her, she gets even more DPS out of that. And of course, because she's a 4-star, you will get her potential up very, very quickly, which means extra DPS, quicker redeployment time, and her talent gets improved. But yeah, as a unit, we're gonna go over that in the file just now. But all I can say is, I don't remember a story where she was involved with. I only am speculating on this, by the way. I don't want a full-on confirmation where and how and what. I know that there is a skin for her in the Chinese client, and that it was added with one of the story patches in the recent couple of months. But what if she does have any kind of story involvement in that? Cool. Which, by the way, you can tell me if she has story involvement. Great. Do not tell me where, how, when, what is happening. All of that, keep it to yourself. That part, keep it to yourself. I am already struggling to keep away from any spoilers out of the Chinese client, which I cannot avoid because YouTube. But yeah, anyway, let's get into her file, shall we? Which is kinda gonna be short. This is an OG 4-star, so don't expect too much. It's interesting, but don't expect too much. On the other hand, the voice file will be only in Japanese, so you'll have to pay attention to the screen, considering she has literally no other voice actors. Her original Japanese voice actress. So, let's get into the story, shall we? Or rather, the file. Right. Basic info. Codename Scavenger. Gender female. Combat experience 4 years. Place of birth unknown. Date of birth August 22nd. Race Zalek. Height 164 centimeters. Infection status. Infection confirmed by medical examination. I'm gonna go into that Zalek thing at the end here, because that part is gonna play a role into her file and both her E2 art. So let's continue. Physical exam, physical strength, excellent mobility, normal, physical resilience, normal, tactical acumen, normal, combat skill, excellent, Originium arts assimilation, standard. Profile. Banished from her community for being infected, she has made a living as a mercenary in the criminal underworld. She is skilled in matters best left unsaid, and as a result of the base nature of the work, has become known as Scavenger. Since her introduction to Rhode Island through an intermediary, she has given up her mercenary life to become an operator. Clinical analysis. Imaging tests have shown the outlines of her internal organs to be indistinct due to abnormal shadows. Originium granules have been detected in her circulatory system, confirming her to be infected with neuropathy. Cell Originium fusion rate 12%. Operator has no obvious Originium crystals externally, however, tests have revealed an abundance of crystals internally. The limbic system of the brain has been practically infected, and the operator's personality changes are suspected to be related to this. This I'll also go a bit in at the end of this file reading. Continuing, blood crystal density 0.29 units per liter. Due to high presence of Originium within the internal organs, the operator's circulatory system has a high Originium content. Archive file number 1. Having been exiled by her tribe, betrayed by her client, and endured all manner of hardships, Scavenger prefers to act alone and is wary of others. Moreover, since her personality has been affected by Originium, she has become difficult to communicate with. Perhaps she'll open up a bit when she gets used to working at Rhode Island. Archive File Number 2. Scavenger moves freely in harsh environments and will eat almost anything as long as it won't kill her. She is one of the most adaptable operators of truly unparalleled versatility. When given the chance, she enjoys resting in dark corners or eating a few specific foods. Archive File Number 3. Scavenger prefers to avoid other operators until it's not required for her work. With the exception of Province, she tends to sneer at those who ask her about her interest in Province, which is reflective of some sort of attraction. While Province is considered generally attractive, many operators particularly enjoy fluffing her tail, Scavenger seems to be interested in something else. Archive File Number 4. Scavenger once loved a young woman from her own tribe, who reciprocated her feelings. For whatever reason, they did not express their feelings to one another until Scavenger became infected and was banished from her tribe. The next time Scavenger was able to meet the young lady, she had already passed away, and with her the knowledge of their forbidden love. This memory is a keepsake that Scavenger will forever hold close. Promotion record. No one understands why a covert mercenary would use such a heavy weapon for sneak attacks, as it is clearly unsuitable. Despite this disadvantage, Scavenger still manages to operate effectively. When others see her pass by, they typically come under the impression that she is not an assassin so much as an individual who will stop at nothing to eliminate everything in her path. No one doubts her abilities, and as for the actual truth behind her choice of weaponry, who cares? I love that at the end. Who cares why she wields a giant heavy axe, considering she is a covered op technically. But what I was saying earlier, first a couple of things. So her neuropathy directly affects her brain, which we already know that can have quite the impact. Example, look at Ptilopsis, who has a chip in her brain with Originium in it, which makes her, let's put it that way, makes her very weird and makes it seem like the Originium in her brain is taking actually over at times. So in this case, we have another operator who, through natural infection causes, has contracted oropathy, but at the same time has the same thing happening to them, where the thing is actively influencing the brain, which we can actually see in a couple of ways here. First off, her personality shifted from whatever it was, apparently. Second off, her E2 art. She's a Zalek, but like in other operators who are of a specific race, usually the animal behind them is kind of associated with the same race. Doesn't have to be the exact same species as what the character is based on, but in this case we have a Zalek, aka someone who is based on like rodents and stuff, having a E2 art that represents, well, basically a wolf for reasons. Why a wolf? Well, the only things I can think of would be that it's either due to her current fixation on Province, or because I would love to know more what kind of tribe she is from, if the tribe was just Zaleks, or if the tribe was like a mixed race thing. Considering in that case, it would make two things would actually make sense then. Considering she had a love interest in a woman from the same tribe, maybe this is supposed to represent that love interest if she was a Vulpo. And that would also then explain her current fixation, potentially romantical fixation on Province, considering Province is also a Vulpo. Or maybe it's just a coincidence and her entire tribe was just Zalek, but Province is kind of visually, like face or even just voice or behavior, can be multitude of things, similar to the love she had once. So it's kind of showing itself in her stance, art, behavior kind of stuff. But yeah, interesting thing. But most interesting is the fact that a lot of operators seem to be very influenced if Originium spreads into their brain and how it changes their... It's essentially like, well, not to the same degree, but to a certain degree like a normal tumor that spreads in your brain and starts pushing certain regions of the brain to the side as it keeps growing and you keep displaying erratic behavior or a lot of other things at the same time. But yeah, I'm rambling. Sorry. I watch a lot of documentaries, I'm rambling. So let's keep it at that. Anyway, let's get into the file, which means a voice file, which means I'm gonna mute myself and you guys get to listen to Scavenger talk. First off, let me bump the volume up so she's actually audible. But yeah, I will see you guys at the end of the video.
ぐずぐず言う暇があるんならさっさと仕事を終わらせろ。覚えておくといい。環境が過酷だろうが何だろうが、それに適応できないやつは単なる足手まといだ。働いて食って逃げる、その繰り返し。大したことじゃない。このご時世みんな似たようなもんだろ。私はな、上の人間の厄介事を始末するのが仕事だった。それでスカベンジャーと呼ばれるようになった。コインに表と裏があるように、どんなに綺麗に見えても裏に必ず汚い一面がある。来たばかりの頃よりずいぶん馴染んできただと。そんなわけあるか。地上での仕事に慣れてきただけだ。プロバンスってあいつだろ。人助けとか言って天才に突っ込んでいって感染したやつ。尻尾があんなでかくなってな。知ってるかドクター。もともと私は誰かと協力して何かやろうってのが嫌いだった。互いのやり方が気に食わなくなる気がしてな。でもいつからかそうは思わなくなった。あの子がまだ生きていれば。今はあの子の思いを背負って生きていくしかないんだ。なんでこいつはこんな無防備なところで寝られるんだ。スカベンジャーだ。汚い仕事は任せてくれ。あんたも連中と一緒だ。金さえ払ってくれればいい。まだだ。まだ足りない。まだ足りない。私はもっと強くなるんだ。ありがとう、ドクター。私の戦う理由、分かったような気がする。たかが入隊で何か言わなきゃダメなのか。お前ら、足引っ張るなよ。バレないように気配を殺していけ。ゴミ掃除の時間だ。早くしろ。やるのか。やるぞ、クズが。ドブでもがいてろ。お前はもう戻れないんだよ。お前にかける情けはない。これはまた想定外の注文だったな。この結末は奴らの弱さが招いたものだ。何人か逃したか。あんたの指揮の腕前がこの程度ってんならとんだ期待外れだな。ちっくしょ。 またやっちまった。私は隅っこの暗いところでいい。話せ。あんたも掃除されたいのか。アークナイツ任務か。
Alright, that will do it for this. Also, a lot of her, I forgot how a lot of her voice file actually feels like she is what's the phrase I could use here? Like self-questioning, self-loathing, putting a lot of birds. Not good with words today, apparently. Putting a lot of pressure on herself, which is amplified by her current personality shift as well. But yeah, I think this will do it for this first episode of round 3. Next time, actually, what was the next round? Oh yeah, guards. Next time, we're gonna go into the guard section with another 4-star, of course. But until then, this has been Jacob. I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye bye.